Again, good morning, everyone. So let's begin with today's session. So what we'll do is we'll quickly revise yesterday's class, after which we can discuss about the new topics for today. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. So in yesterday's class, we have seen the ERP architecture. So ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Platform. Sorry, planning. So this architecture helps in understanding the business process and where does ABAP exactly come in. Right. So we understood the architecture of ERP by taking the example of a chocolate factory. So wherein in creating and selling a certain set of chocolates, what are all the phases that it has to go through, like the raw material procurement, manufacturing process, then inventory, storing it in an inventory, then sales and marketing, then delivery, then finance and accounting. So all these things we have seen. So in general, this is how an ERP architecture works. So it's nothing but all the integrating all the business processes in an organization in order to have a smooth flow. Okay, smooth business flow. It's called as a ERP platform, ERP architecture. So in this, each and every module that you see here is a SAP functional module. Okay, each business process that is being carried out in a company is nothing but a SAP functional module, and our ABAP stands in between all these things, in the center of all these modules. So that means ABAP is used to integrate all these things, and no matter which functional team need any technical help, they'll definitely reach out to only ABAP team always. Okay, that's the reason. Again, ABAP personnel are always on high demand. Okay, then the ERP architecture or the R3 architecture. So in the R3 architecture or the Tier 3 architecture, basically we'll have three layers. First is called as a presentation layer. Second is the application layer. Third is the database layer. So in ECC or HANA system, the number of layers will remains the same, and the name of these layers are also the same, right? So first one, presentation layer. This is used to show our input and output. Basically, give the input to the system and take the output from the system. So the screen is nothing but user interface that you see in SAP. That is nothing but your presentation layer. Then application layer. So all the processing, right? All the logic that we've written will be processed inside the application layer. So that is basically our application layer. Then finally, database layer. So database layer is used to store the database. Okay, so store the data in it, right? So whenever we make a call to extract any data from the database from the presentation layer, the call first goes to application layer, then it goes to database layer. If the data is found, then if again any post extraction logic is necessary, then those logic execution will happen in application layer, and the final output will be sent to your presentation layer. So all these things will happen in the background. The only thing that you're going to see is presentation layer. You will not be seeing application and database layer, because these processing will happen in the background, right? You will only see presentation layer. Okay, so ECC is similar to HANA, same. The number of layers are same, the names are also same, but the only thing is there will be a slight change in the coding pattern. Okay, see, when I'm talking about HANA, I'm not talking about S4 system or ECC system or HANA database and all those things, right? So when I'm talking about HANA, I'm talking about the database, not the system, not S4 system, but the database. See, even an ECC system can have a HANA database in some scenarios. Very few projects will have it, but if a projects want to have HANA database in the ECC system, even that is also compatible. So in those cases also you can follow this thing that minimal processing should happen on the application layer and most of the processing can happen on the database layer. This thing you can even do if you're having a HANA database. Doesn't matter what system it is, but if you're having a HANA database, you can still use it. Okay, then differences between ECC and HANA. So in ECC in general, we'll have third-party databases like SQL, Oracle, etc. In HANA system, they use the in-house developed database system, that is nothing but HANA system, and it uses a RAM concept. RAM means random access memory, which will have a faster processing power. Then ECC system is a row store table concept. So row store table concept means the logic extraction will happen in rows, like in horizontal manner, like this. Whereas in column store, the logic extraction happens in column wise, like in this vertical manner. So that is your column store. Then ECC system will have slower processing power, right? It will be very slow when you, not very slow, but compared to HANA, it will be slow when you are extracting the data. Whereas HANA will have higher extraction power, and the ECC system will have multiple categories of tables. So with these category of tables, we'll see when we get into data dictionary concept. And in HANA system, these categories are removed and you will only see one category of table, right? Then in ECC, by default, every table that is there, doesn't matter if it's already existing table or creation of new table, all the tables are row store tables. Whereas in HANA system, all the tables are by default column store. But if you want to change it to row store, then that is also possible. So when to use column store, when to use row store, I'll show you when we create the table, right? When we get into the actual database tables, creation of database tables, I'll show you when to use column store and when to use row store. Okay, then server and client. So server is nothing but a channel or a medium through which we can connect to the SAP system, right? That is a server. Then client is used to divide or segregate the data, right? So divide or segregate the data from one system to another system by using a certain number, client number. That is nothing but your client. See, and every client will have a different user ID and password. Okay, so then we've seen a few basic SQL statements. So first is the select, then which is used to extract the data. Then is the update, which is used to modify or change the existing data. Then is the insert, which is used to add a new entry into the database table. Then is modify. So modify is combination of both update and insert. First, it will try to check whether the data record is existing or not. If it is existing, then it will change the data. If not, it will create the data. Then finally delete. So delete statement is used to delete the data completely from the database tables. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, see, table is nothing but an object which is there in the database, which is used to store the data in the database in a tabular format. Okay, in a tabular format, that's the reason it's called as a table. Then database, so database is nothing but it is a place which is used to store large amount of data of our organization. Okay, it's nothing but like a storage device also, so but on a very larger scale. That is nothing but your database. So we've covered till there in the last class. So if you are having any doubts, you can feel free to ask. I've seen some messages. Okay, yeah, to answer your question, you'll also get your recordings also, not just YouTube links. So once your registration is completed, once you enroll, you will be getting this exclusive content of the complete recordings and also the documentations too. Then you'll also be getting the server details as well in order to log into SAP and complete your work. You'll also be getting that. In ECC R2 or tier, no. In ECC also it is R3 only. Na? See, this is ECC system. Even here also you will have tier 3 only. Tier 3 is nothing but 3 layers. Right, so the layers will be same in ECC or in HANA system. It's just that your coding pattern will be a little bit different. So here in ECC system we can put more load on the application layer and less load on the database layer. But whereas it is quite opposite here, we should put minimal load on the application layer and more load on the database layer because database is capable of handling large load. Okay, anyone else having any doubts? you can either unmute or you can put it in the chat. So I even actually placed the introduction file in the Google Classroom. Not sure how many of you have seen it. So please do see it. Like every once after the completion of every class, you can just go through the documentation that is already shared and also the recordings too, so that you can quickly revise each and every day session on that day itself, right? Okay. So then moving on, above workbench objects. Right. So when we talk about workbench, so workbench is nothing but it is one set of objects. Okay. So we have two kinds of objects in SAP basically. One is called as a workbench object. Second is called as a customizing object. Okay. Workbench object means any object that is having any technical dependency on ABAP team. Okay. Any object which is having a technical dependency on ABAP team is called as a ABAP workbench object. Okay. See, one more thing, like, see, I'm using only one language here, like English, basically, because I'm guessing everyone is able to understand it. But if you feel like you will need a any regional language, say Hindi or Telugu, then that is also cool with me. So once our batch is formed, then we'll take a poll from each and every person. So whatever language is preferable for you people, then we'll continue on that language. Right. Once the registration is complete, then we'll take this poll, as in what are your comfort zones, what are your comfort timings, what are your comfort languages, all these things we'll see only, and then we'll change as per that. Okay. Yeah. Coming back to the concept. So as I was saying, workbench objects are the objects on which there is a technical dependency from the ABAP team. That means only ABAP team can create the workbench objects, right? Only ABAP team can create the workbench objects. So before understanding the workbench objects, let's understand the different landscapes in SAP. Okay. So in general, we'll have at least three landscapes in SAP. So when I say three landscapes in SAP, let me just show you one example on how it looks like and all. Okay. Okay, this is a server. So access to this, you'll be getting it once you complete your registration. See, this is the SAP logon pad via which we will have to log in into SAP. Okay, see, this is a test system. Currently, this is a test system, test server. So we are only having one system here, right? It says S4 HANA. So in projects, when you actually get into a project, you will have three systems like this. Minimum three systems. You can have more also, but minimum you will have three systems here instead of S4 HANA only one system. We'll have development, quality, and production. At least three systems. Okay, so that's what this system here means. Okay, that's what its landscape here means. Okay, so first is called as a development system or development landscape. So development system is the system that is widely used or majorly used by the ABAP team. Okay, we will always use development system because all the work that we do, our work is to basically create objects, right? Means developing objects. So developing objects will always takes place in development system, right? So this is a system ID that I gave here, DE1. See, this can be anything. Just I given an example as a DE1 here, but in your project it could be anything. It could be D0, it could be D0, it could be D00, it could be anything. Normally it will start with a D. That means development system. So in quality it will start with Q, production will start with P. That's in general. Most of the projects uses this naming convention only. But after D, the remaining two numbers, right? The remaining two numbers, it could be anything. It could be an alphanumeric number. So you can have both alphabets, you can have both numbers. It's different actually in every project. So D is common, means first letter is common. D here is common. Q for quality system is common. P for production system is common. The next two letters can be different as per your project. Okay. So yeah, so the reason I've given this example is when we get into the transportable object and all, then you will understand the system IDs and all. So just remember that this is a test system ID that I'm giving here. Okay, just an assumption. It could be like this. right? Then quality system. So quality system is used to test the completed development objects, right? So you have completed the development in a development system, but it might not be possible for the functional consultant or the users to test the development object in the development system because there is normally less number of data. Okay, in development system normally there is less number of data, so we have to move our code to quality system, right? We have to move our code to quality system so that it can be tested. Sorry, anyone has any doubt? If not, please go on mute. Okay. Yeah. So as I was saying, quality system. So most of your testing will happen only in the quality system because there is more data available to test the functionality in quality system, right? So a few projects can have more systems also, more testing systems, right? So you can have development quality, then another second quality system or second it's called a regression test system, right? Third system, or then finally production system. So depends, every project will have different number of landscapes and all. You don't need to worry about as in key, okay, what if the project that I am going into will have 4 5 systems. No matter, doesn't matter how many systems that project is having, your work is mostly on the development system only. Okay, your work is mostly on the development system only. Doesn't matter if the project is having 10 systems also, you will only work in development system. You will not work in quality and all the systems. So all the remaining systems are normally for your functional consultants and your business users only. Your work is again mostly on development system, right? So after quality we have production system. So in production system it is a live system. Okay, so it will have all the live data, all the business transactions that are happening every single day will be stored in the production system. And production system is a very delicate system, very important system. So you should not try to change any kind of data in production system. You should not run any reports until and unless it is advised by some senior person. You should not run any reports, you should not run any transaction, you should not make any code change, you should not directly change any data in any database table in production system. Always remember, thumb rule. You have to be very, very careful when you log in into SAP production system. So in most of the projects, ABAPers will not even get production system access. Okay, it is normally given to only functional consultants or business users only because production system is very delicate. And as an ABAPer, we are technically sound enough to do things that are not supposed to be done. Okay, we will have those skills in order to override the functionalities in production system. So you'll get that knowledge as we get in as we progress in the course. So because of that immense knowledge that we possess, people are often afraid to give the all the accesses to us. Okay, so just make sure that you should never make any change. Doesn't matter if it's a code, if it's a configuration, it could be a data, anything. You should never make any change in production system. Okay, um, done. So then we have a category of object. See, object is nothing but we just call all the development things, whatever we develop in SAP, we just call them as object. Okay, what it could be a program, it could be a table, it could be a form, it could be anything. It could be anything that we create in SAP. It's in general we'll call it as an object. Okay, so then category of objects. So objects are generally categorized into two types. First is called as a local object. Second is called as a transportable object. Okay, so understanding the difference between a local and transportable is very important for us because if we don't understand this difference, we will not be able to save our changes. We will not be able to make a decision as in how to save my object and all. Okay, so first local object. So local objects are normally created only in development system, and these cannot be moved to target systems, right? So normally what did I say here in landscapes? All our development should be done in development system. Then they should be tested in product quality system. Once the testing is successful, then it will move to production system. This is in general flow for every project, whatever the project is, globally, not just in regionally in India. Doesn't matter, globally wherever you go, the flow will remain the same. First development, then quality, then production. So when you create a local object means when you save an object in a local object, then the object that you create cannot be transported to quality or production system. Okay, it cannot be transported to quality or production system. It will remain in development system. Okay, so normally we will only create local objects when we want to test something. Okay, when we want to test something or we want to practice something, in those situations only we will use local object. Second is the transportable object. So this is the object that you will often create. So most of your business requirements should be saved as a transportable object, right? Most of the business requirements should be saved as a transportable objects. So in transportable object, there is a concept of transport request. Okay, there is a concept of transport request. Because of that transport request, you can move the change to development, quality, production. Okay, so that's a basic difference between your local and transportable. So local object cannot be moved to quality or production system. You should only use this when you want to test or practice something in development system. Then transportable objects are normally the objects that you save it in a TR, transport request, to meet the business requirement. Okay, so any doubts, anyone in this? Okay, then moving on, the differences between local and transportable objects. Okay, so first, local objects are saved in a temporary package. So don't worry what is a package and all. So it is the next concept. So here we'll see what is a package. So just understand that local object will be saved in a temporary package. Okay, and the name of the package is $tmp. Okay, name of the package is $tmp. And your transportable objects are saved in a transport request. So you don't worry what is a transport request. Don't think it is a rocket science. It is only one pop-up that you will get. Okay, whenever you create any object, you will get a pop-up saying should it be a local object or a transportable object. That's it. You have to just choose between transportable and local. It's just a pop-up. In that pop-up only you'll have to choose. I'll show you when we get into the system. I'll show you the difference and all, right? So transportable object will require a TR, transport request. So in project we normally call transport request as TR. Okay, the abbreviation transport request short form is TR. Then so the local objects, since it will not have any TR, it cannot be transported to production and quality and production system, right? Because of the transport request only, we are able to move the change from one system to another system, right? But since your local object is not having any TR at all, it cannot be moved. Simple, right? Vice versa, in transportable object, it will have a TR, it will have a unique TR, because of which you can move your changes to either quality or production system. Okay, so then local objects are normally created for what? Practice purposes, and transportable objects are to fulfill the client requirement. So any business requirement that you are getting, that object should be created in a transportable object only. So let's say, as an example, you've got a requirement to create one report. Okay, create a table or report, anything, right? So what you can do is, if you are not or if you are uncertain whether the change that I'm going to do or the creation of the object that I'm going to do will be correct or not, in that case what you can do is, first you can do the development in the local object. Okay, first you can do the development in local object. Once you feel like yes, my development is correct, it is working correctly, perfectly, then in that case you can change the report from local object to transportable object, right? Even that option is also there. Either you can directly create it in a transportable object by giving a TR, transport request, or you can just save it as a local object. Then change it into a transportable object. Two options are also there. Okay, then package. So package is nothing but it's like a folder. Okay, so imagine package as a folder in my PC. Okay, so like example, let's say this is my desktop. So imagine this documents, whatever the folder that you're seeing, this is my package. So this is my package. So once you get inside this, I'm having different kinds of documents in it. Yes, all kind of documents. I'm having a PDF, I'm having a PPT, I'm having a Word document, all these things. So these are nothing but my objects. These are nothing but my objects. So this is what is your package. So package is a collect folder which is used to store your objects. Okay, package is a folder similar to this your PC folders, which is used to store your files. Okay, you can only store your file in some folder, right? It doesn't matter if it's desktop. Also, desktop is nothing but a folder. Okay, desktop is also a folder here. So package is nothing but a place or a folder which is used to save your objects. That's it, simple. All your objects will be stored in a package. Then categories of packages are first local or temporary package. See, local package is nothing but the package that we have seen here, $TMP. This one. So this is called as a local package. So whenever you create any local object, it will be saved in a local package, which is $TMP. Okay. Then standard packages. See, standard packages are created by SAP. Okay, standard packages are created by SAP, and as an ABAPer, we should never ever change any standard package. Okay, we should never ever change standard package because there will be hundreds of objects stored in a standard package. If you make any small change in the standard package, it could create chaotic scenarios in your system, right? It will cause chaos in the whole system. So always make sure you should not change anything in your standard package. So how to identify what is a standard package, what is a custom package, and all also we'll see. Okay, but for now understand standard packages should not be changed. Then finally custom package. So custom packages are the packages that are created by ABAP team. Okay, custom packages are created by the ABAP team, and most of the time, 90%, I would say more than 90% of the time, we should always use custom packages only to store our developed objects. Okay, we should only use custom packages to store our developed objects. So that's basically your category of packages. So first category, local object. Okay, if you're saving it in local object, then you should use local package. $TMP is the package name. Standard packages, you should never use it. Then custom packages, you can use it to store the custom developments that you are doing in the system. Simple. Okay, then lastly, transport request. Okay, so we were talking about transport request now. So transport request, that we have seen here a glimpse of a transport request. So transport request is a unique request. Okay, transport request is a unique number that gets generated in the development system. Always remember, transport request is only created in development system. It cannot be created in quality or production system or any system. Doesn't matter if your project is having 10 systems also, it can only be created in development system, and the transport request will have a unique number. Okay, a unique number, and that number will be something like this. Okay, so initial first three letters will be your development system name. Okay, so here if I'm taking a DE1 as my example, right, my example system name, then it will start with DE1, then K. So K will be there for each and every transport in each and every project. Okay, DE1 K. After K, whatever the number that you see here, this number is uniquely generated number. So system will generate these numbers whenever you create a transport request. Okay, so first DE1 is my system name, then K followed by your unique number. So if I have to show it in the actual system, let me just show you. See, don't worry how I'm navigating, what I'm doing and all. You understand each and everything. But I just wanted to show you the TR. Okay. So this is nothing but a TR. Okay. See, currently my system name is, see, where is my system name? This is my system. Right. System name is what? S4H. S4H. I told you, na, three letters only. System name can only be three letters. So my system name is S4H. So since it is S4H, see, it is starting with S4H, right? S4H with K, then a unique number. Okay, S4H, then K, then a unique number. This is nothing but a TR, transport request. So, but in our example, since we have taken DE1 as a system name, it is starting with DE1 K, a unique number. Simple. That's what is your transport request. So all the development, all the objects that you create will be saved in your transport request like this. So this is a table that is saved in the transport request. So like this. So don't worry about all these things. Anyhow, we'll see all this, once we get into the actual topics. This is just the introduction to make you understand the introductory topics only. That's it. Okay. So anyone has any doubts on this? Okay. I'll take it as and we'll move on. So then we have, so now with that we have seen what is a transport request, right? A TR, what is a TR? So what are all the different types of TR do we have in SAP? Okay, so first is called as a workbench TR. Okay, first is called as workbench TR. Second is called as a customizing TR. Okay, see, workbench TR is nothing but a TR which is used to save our workbench objects. What is a workbench object? So then starting I told you, above workbench objects. So each and every object that will require technical assistance from above team is called as a workbench object, right? So all the workbench objects should be stored in a workbench TR. Okay, all the workbench objects should be stored in a workbench TR. I'll show you what exactly is a workbench object also. So we have some objects which are called as a workbench objects. I'll give you the list of the all the objects also. Okay. So and yeah, only normally ABAP team uses workbench object. I mean workbench TR. Okay. Only the ABAP team will use workbench TRs. Then we have customizing TR also. So these customizing TRs are not often used by your functional teams. Okay, customizing TRs are often used by your functional teams. So all the configurations or table entries related data will be saved in your customizing TR. Okay, so all the configurations in the SAP system or the data inside the tables will be stored in your customizing TR. Okay, so then we have a concept of transaction code. Okay, so transaction code or short form of transaction code is T code. Okay, T code. So we normally will call it as a T code only in project. So from now on going on, we'll call it as a T code only. So when I'm saying T code, it means transaction code, right? For all transport request also, we should call it as a TR. So going further, we'll call the transport request as TR. So again, in the initial class, as I told you, we will only use project naming conventions. How you'll call the objects in the project, like that only we'll call in the throughout this course curriculum. Okay. So what is a T code? So T code is nothing but a shortcut which is used to navigate to different kinds of objects in SAP. Okay. It is used to navigate to different kinds of objects in SAP, or it could be a development object or it could be a configuration. Whatever it is, if you want to navigate to any place, then you have to use this T code. See, the reason we are having a T code is if you take example of any other software. Okay, this is SAP that you are seeing here. If you take example of any other existing software in the market, once you open the software, you'll directly get a coding screen, right? Doesn't matter whatever it is, Java, Python, .NET, whatever it is, SQL. Once you open the software, directly you'll get a coding screen. You'll only write a code there. But SAP is an ERP tool which can be used widely, right? So when we looked at the ERP architecture, right, when we looked at the ERP architecture, all these people should also use same SAP, correct? All the consultants, all the business users from across all these areas should also use SAP only. So if by default you'll get coding screen, then how will they be able to perform the business transactions? Impossible, correct? So that is the reason. See, this is the initial screen of your SAP. Okay, this is the initial screen. So once you log in, let me log in again. Once you log in, you will get this screen. Okay, so if I'm trying to log in, okay, this is a user ID and password. So every person who once you complete the registration, you will get a unique ID and password. Same similar to your project. How will you get it? Here also, instead of using same ID and password for everyone, we will give a unique user ID for each and every person. So your developments will be different from other developments. So it's not like, see, if I'm logging into this ID and if you also use the same ID, then we both cannot change single object. It will create locks. Okay, so that's the reason we will give a unique ID to each and every person who completes your enrollment, right? And this is the client number. I think I've shown this in the previous class also. See, client, this is a client. This is a password. Let me give. Done. So this is the initial screen of your SAP. This is how it looks like. So this white area could be anything depending upon your project. This white area can have your project name. It could have just SAP written here. It could be blank. It could be anything. This can be customized. This SAP white screen can be customized in your project. Okay. So this white screen might change. Here you might get your project name. That only happens in few projects, but just giving you a heads up. Okay, this is the initial screen of SAP. Now, in order to for me to navigate to anywhere, okay, in order for me to navigate to anywhere, I I have to use a T code. Okay, I have to use a T code, and that T code should be given in the command field. So this top left corner, whatever you see here, a small text field. So here you can give any text that you want to, numbers or letters or symbols, anything you can give in this. So this command field is used to navigate to my T code. Okay, navigate to the screen. Example, we've just seen transport request, right? So let's say if I want to navigate to transport request, want to see my transport request. So the T code to do that is SC09. SE09. Once you give it and hit enter, it will take me to this screen, transport organizer. Right? If you go back again, it will take you to the initial screen. So this T code is used to take you to different parts of SAP. Okay, so don't worry, it's not like there are hundreds of T codes that you have to remember. There are only just few T codes that we normally use in every day. So at most 10-15 T codes, that's it. So if you just remember these 10-15 T codes, you'll be very good. Okay, that's it. You will not use more than these T codes, right? And all the T codes that are starting with SE are ABAP T codes. Okay, see, SE means system engineering, right? SE means system engineering. So SE star, after SE, if you are having anything. So in our current example, what we have seen. So this is what SE09. Na? So if I put K code here, transaction. See, this is what SE09. This is a T code name, transaction code name SE09. So first starting with SE, then 09. So since it is starting with SE, it becomes an ABAP T code. Then we also have T code starting with SM. Okay. So SM means system maintenance. Okay. SE means system engineering. SM means system maintenance. Normally, SM related T codes are taken care by your functional team. Right? Example. I'll just show you one example. Okay. So there is a T code called as SM30. Okay. So this is what SM30. So this SM30 starting with SMs. So system maintenance 30. So this is used to maintain the data in your database table, which is normally done by your functional team. So that is the reason it is SM, right? System maintenance. So related to your functionality. So this is the concept of transaction code. So like in SAP, we'll have two types of transaction codes, right? Two types of transaction codes. First is a standard and second is custom. So as we've discussed in the package concept, you should never ever change standard transaction code. Okay, you should never use change standard transaction code, but you can reuse, right? But you can reuse standard transaction codes to navigate to different screens. So the T codes that I used just now, these SC09 or SM30, these are all standard T codes. Okay, these are all standard T codes. How to differentiate? I'll just show you in the next topic. So here I'll show you how to differentiate between standard and custom, right? So first standard, you will never change it, but you will reuse it in order to navigate to different screens in SAP. Then custom T codes are the T codes that we create. A ABAPer will create. No other person in the project can create a custom T code other than ABAP team. Only ABAP team has the knowledge of creating custom T code. So if any function consultant wants any custom T code, they have to come to ABAP only. Okay. So custom T, and it's also very easy to create a custom T code. Very easy. I'll show you all that, but it's very easy to create a custom T code. So these custom T codes are normally created by a BAP team, and it's up to you if you want to modify those things. If you get a business requirement saying to modify the custom T codes, then you can do it. It's fine. You can reuse it. You can also modify it. But standard T codes, you can only you reuse. You should never change your standard T code. Okay. Any doubts in this? Anyone? Okay. So now, how to identify the difference between standard and custom? Right, I've been saying that you should never ever change a standard object, but you can change your custom object. But how will I know what is a standard object and what is a custom object? Right, so there is one key naming convention that every project will use. That is, see, SAP will not allow you to create an object starting from A to X. Okay, so SAP will not allow you to create any object that will start with A to X in SAP. So all the letters, so for example, let's say, see here, if I want to create something, okay, so I cannot simply like give like this. Okay, oh, sort of a Y you can use, but sorry. See, if I want to use like this QWEH, I want to create a table with this naming convention, then SAP will not allow me to use this naming convention because it is starting with Q. Okay, it is starting with Q. So only the custom objects can only be created with Y and Z, starting with Y and Z. Okay, a custom object can only be created starting with Y or Z. And again, in between Y and Z, most of the projects out there will use Z. Okay, most of the projects out there will use Z. So going further also in this project, I mean in this course, we will use Z everywhere. It doesn't matter whatever you are creating. You're creating a package, you're creating a table, you're creating a program, whatever that you're creating, we will always use Z as a pre starting letter. Okay, you cannot use any other. So all the letters from A to X, right? A to X is reserved by SAP. So if you see anything that is starting with A to X, it is standard. Simple. Any object that is starting from A to X is nothing but standard. Any object starting with Y or Z is custom. Okay, any object starting from letters between A to X, A, B, C, D till X is standard. Any object starting with Y or Z are only custom. Okay, so I'll just show you one difference. Okay, don't worry what these things and all are, but see, example, I'm just showing you a standard table. Okay, so VBAP is a standard table that is there in the SAP, which is related to sales people. Okay, sales area. So this is starting what V. V means standard. It lies between A to X. It's not Y or Z. So if you display this, see, it says what? Sales document. Okay, someone changed data. 1 minute. I give IKP. See, yes, LIKP is a standard table. So what does it say? Last changed by SAP. Last changed by SAP only. So you should make sure you should never change standard objects. See, this is a practice server, so there are people who will, just out of curiosity, they'll come and change it here. So few tables might be, you'll have custom user IDs, but always make sure in your projects you should not change it. Just because SAP is allowing it, you should not change it. One more key important thing is, see, one more key important thing. So a difference between ECC and HANA system is, see, in ECC system, you cannot change standard objects. Simple, you cannot change standard objects in ECC system. In order to do a change, you should have an access key. Okay. In ECC system, if you want to perform any change on standard object, you should have an access key. And this access key can only be given by the SAP. Okay, you have to register. There is a process that you have to do that your base system does it normally. So base system has to register this object name in the SAP portal, after which SAP will give a unique access key for you to change it. That is ECC process. But coming to HANA, right, coming to HANA, that restriction is removed. So you can, if you want to change it, you can directly change it. See, I clicked on change, I'm able to change it. But just because it is allowing you to make changes, right? See, I mean change now, change table now. So just because SAP is allowing you to change it doesn't mean we have power to change it. You should never change it. Although it is allowing you to change, you should never ever change it. Always make sure that, keep that in mind. You should never change standard object, although it is allowing you to change. The reason I'm stressing so much on this is because if you make any change, so take example of this table only. This is a delivery related table. So each and every delivery that happens in your project, in your business, will be stored in this table, right? Each and every, see, delivery header data, na? So each and every delivery that happens in the project will be stored in this table. If you make minute change, right? So here it's what it says char 10. Don't worry what is a char 10 and all. We'll create. I'll show you. But again, see, if it's char 10, if you make it char 11, it's a very simple change. It's a very simple change. If you make it char 11, it will destroy your system. Okay, trust me, it will destroy your system because this LIKP will be used in thousands of places across the whole system. If one minor change in this table will create chaos in the system. And if you reach out to SAP also saying that, hey, listen, my SAP system is not working correctly, so if you can please look into it. So SAP will come and check if what is the last changed date. Okay, who changed it lastly? If it is SAP, only then SAP will support you in fixing the issue. Okay. If the last changed date is SAP, only then SAP will uh, help you in fixing the issue. If other than SAP, if you are seeing any custom ID here, then SAP will say you have changed the object on your own. So you have lost the privilege of SAP support. We will not help you. Simple. SAP will say this to you. Okay. So you can reach out to SAP also. If you are having any standard issue, you can reach out to SAP. Your project will normally reach out to SAP, not you. But when your project reaches out to SAP for any help, they'll simply reject it, saying that this is what, see, this is not SAP delivered object. You have done customization in it, you changed it. So you have lost the privilege of SAP support. SAP will not support you for this object anymore. Simple, they'll reply this. Okay. So that is the reason, always make sure you are not changing any standard object. Most important thing in HANA system. In ECC anyhow it will not allow you to change it. It will ask for an access key. But HANA system you can change it, but you should not change it. Okay. Any doubt, anyone? Okay, let me also show you one custom object that we've created. Okay, example, see, let's take this one. See, this is a custom thing because how do I identify it's a custom thing? It is starting with what? Z. So it is custom thing. If I display this, if I go to last changed is what? By an ID, not SAP, right? By an ID, by some custom ID, by some user ID. So this is a custom object starting with Z. So any object that is not starting with Z or Y is a standard. Okay. This is BUT000000. This is again a standard database table. Okay. See SAP. Right. That's the key difference. This is how you can identify whether the object is custom or standard. So all the T codes also that we are using, what they are starting with, what S now. See SE09 we are using starting with S. So again it's not Y or Z, so it is standard. Same SE, then SM if you are using also. This is also what starting with S, not Y or Z. So again standard. So you will normally always use standard T codes only to navigate to different screens, but you should never change it. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts anyone? Okay. So this shortcut. Okay, we'll just cover the shortcuts and then we'll wind off today's topic. So if you observed, when I was giving these T codes, I was using some prerequisite letters, right? Like this, I use slash n here, I use slash x here, slash o here, right? So these are nothing but extensions to the T codes. Okay, these are nothing but extensions to my T codes, slash o, slash n, like this. So whenever you use slash n, this means it will create the new session by replacing existing session. Okay, slash n means creating new session, replacing existing session. So here observe how many sessions am I having? Only one SAP session here, correct? Only one SAP session. So if I go to SE09, for example, now this is SE09, my transport organizer that we have just seen. So here if I give, see again I'm having one here. If I see only one session, one SAP session. So here if I give slash n SM30, okay, SM30 is a standard T code. Then I'm giving the slash n here. So if I give slash n and enter, see, I got a new screen of SM30. If I see here again, so my existing session, which was transport organizer SC09, it is replaced with this session, right? This session, my transport organizer is replaced with this session. So if I again give slash n SC09, see again it replaced with my transport organizer. So like this, whenever you use slash n, if I give any other T code also, you can navigate to any T code by using this slash n. So every time you navigate, right? Every time you navigate, the current session will be replaced. Simple slash n, right? Then slash o. Okay, this is slash n. Then slash o. Slash o is used to create new session without replacing existing session. Okay, slash o to create new session without replacing existing session. So see, I'm currently in having what one session, na? So here, so now I'll give slash o sc09. Okay, slash o sc09, enter. Transport organizer came, but see, my older session is also there still. This is there, both are there. So again, if I give slash o, again a new session. See, transport organizer, this, like that, you can see, slash o again I gave, again a new session. So you can create at most 6 number of sessions in your project. Okay, you can create at most 6 number of projects in your system. See, after 6, if I'm trying to open slash o again, what am I getting? Maximum number of GUI sessions reached. So if you see here, see, you're having how many? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So you can have 6 sessions, maximum of 6 sessions per system. Okay, per system you can only have up to six sessions, six parallel sessions running. Right, six parallel sessions running. If you want to again open a new session, new T code, then you have to replace existing one with something else. Okay, see, you have to replace only. You cannot create a new session again. You have to replace one existing session to something new. Only then you can navigate to the new T code. Okay, so clear this slash n slash o. See, slash n ex is used to log out simply. So currently I'm having what, six sessions now. So if you want to directly close off all the six sessions and come out of SAP, then you have to use slash n ex. So if you use slash n ex, enter. See, all the sessions are closed and I logged off, right? So this is slash n ex. It is used to close the sessions and log off from your system. Okay, any doubts in this transaction code? See, because transaction code is very important. It is the only medium through which we can navigate to different areas of SAP. So I'll wait for a minute. You can either, speak or you can put it in the chat if you're having any query. And hope you are all are enrolled. A few people are already enrolled. So the people who haven't enrolled it, so please complete it quickly because you will be getting your server accesses. So the quicker that you get the server access, the better it is because as we progress in the subject, I don't want you people to stack your sessions aside, right? So instead, if you complete the registration, you can practice every single day. The minute that we complete it, right, you can log into your server and you can practice that session there and then itself. Okay, that will help you in quick revising. Okay. Yeah, just not the free server access, but also you'll get group access too. So we have an exclusive WhatsApp group also. So even when you are practicing anything, if you are stuck at any error at any point, you can ping a screenshot of it or the error in the group, WhatsApp group that we will be creating for you. So there, from there, we will be addressing your concerns also. All your concerns will be addressed in that WhatsApp group. Okay, so anyone, if you're having any doubts, you can please ask. I'll wait for a minute. Then we'll conclude today's session. And all the topics that we have discussed today, this documentation is already there in the Google Classroom. So just please log into the Google Classroom, and from there, I did a post on Friday. So just look at the Friday's post. Okay, I'll take it as no doubts then. Fine, guys. Let's meet tomorrow morning. Yeah, thank you.